Welcome, everybody. I'm Devon Duerr. I'm an angel intuitive and spiritual teacher here with your guidance from the angels for March 2023. However, I want you to know that I always set the intention that these messages reach you when it's in your highest interest. So whether you're watching this now during March, a little early before March, because I'm recording this in the end of February, or a year from now, pay attention to what resonates for you. And of course, I'm always going to encourage you to write it down. I find hindsight is the most powerful tool for building your trust and connection with the angels. The energy right now is very intense. The angels want you to know they see that you have too much going on, too much work, too many commitments, and it's time to be willing to ask for help from others. We don't want to put ourselves into a position of causing stress-related health concerns, fatigue, getting overworked where we're not paying attention and we're making mistakes. And I always like you to encourage you to pay attention to these three areas of your life when you're listening to guidance from the angels and see what message could resonate for you in that area. And the first one is your health or your fitness, okay? The second one would be your financial concerns, whether it's financial security, paying off debt, your job or career. And the third one is, of course, your relationships. This could be intimate, romantic ones. This could be children, parents, friends, coworkers. Those are the three areas of our life where we want to take a look at and see where we might need guidance, see what might be out of balance, especially when the angels are starting off right away with this guidance that we need to slow down and make sure we're not biting off more than we can chew. And one of the things that's going to happen with this energy in March they're showing me is we are going to feel that action energy. If you follow astrology, you know towards the end of the month we will move into Aries, which is an action energy ruled by Mars. And so we are going to feel the need to take action. But this is where you don't want to sign up for something that really isn't in your highest interest. You don't want to take on too much. You need to be willing to let other people help you with projects, with your kids, with your plans, with whatever it is that is out of balance for you right now, because we want to make sure we're staying grounded and centered, because so much is going to be happening throughout this year of 2023 that's going to be happening quickly. There's going to be surprise change of plans, and we want to make sure we're staying healthy and taking care of ourselves, and we're not too out of balance in one area or another in our life. Now, before we get deeper into the guidance, I want to remind you that I have a free monthly event, Online Coffee with Devon, that's held the second Wednesday of every month. All you have to do to join is sign up for my free newsletter at devonduerr.com, and you will get the link to join us there. Also, you will get my free ebook, Is It a Sign?, to help you begin interpreting signs from your angels or just deepen your connection with the angels. And as many of you know, I released my custom journal in March 2022 called Book of Evidence, because I'm always encouraging you to create your own book of evidence. Write down your intuitive experiences, track them, and that way you have that hindsight there if you begin to doubt your intuitive abilities. You're here because you are intuitive. You are here to do light work, whether you do it professionally or it's just something you incorporate into your daily life. You're here for a reason, and you need to give yourself credit by writing it down and creating that book of evidence. We talk about that a lot in the online coffees, and the online coffee is a roundtable discussion. There's a lot of intuitives in that group who are beginning, and there's a lot of intuitives that have been doing it their whole life. And so we all learn together. There's always these great shares. If you want to go check out my February online coffee to see what it's like, we talked about relationships. There were some prompts around that, and I always open up the coffee with more angel messages that are kind of updating this video, because I do this video at the beginning of the month or towards the end of the previous month. And then the online coffee is meant to kind of add to that, create a little more depth to the messages we're getting there. But again, remembering that these messages will reach you when they're meant to. So you could go look at a video from a year ago on my channel and there might be a message in there for you. So I always set that intention around it. So speaking of how I set intentions and how I work with the angels, I always ask for these messages to reach you when it's in your highest interest. I say a prayer of protection, asking that I only connect with God's highest vibrational beings, and the messages be for the highest good of those who come across them. Remember, angels will not tell us what to do. They do not want us to give our power away. So because this is a group message, if something doesn't resonate, leave it behind. It's probably for someone else. Always check in with your own intuition. However, if something does resonate, what was I just saying? Please write it down. Give your future self a gift. Give your present self a gift and your higher self a gift. with the gift of hindsight by writing it down and having that powerful tool. One of the biggest things I learned about developing my intuitive abilities when I really wanted to take them to the next level is there's this risk of beginning to doubt your experiences. So you've got to write them down. You've got to pay attention to the details, and you've got to give yourself credit for the way that you use your intuitive abilities. And a lot of people will come to me asking me, well, what is my biggest ability? Do I have, is it my vision? Is it my hearing? What is it? And that's another way you can begin to understand how you use your intuitive abilities is by keeping track of them. Now, eventually, all your senses will really expand if you're advanced, this, you want to focus on the one you use the most first, and it will begin to help the other ones grow. And you want to make sure you're writing everything down and paying attention to details. And then I always say, go back and review them, especially when you're beginning to feel doubt. Another thing I would like to mention to you is I know many of you have found me through SiriusJoy.com. That Sirius is in the star, SIRIUS. This is an amazing astrology service and self-development service that will help you really get to know yourself on a new level. You get daily texts. I offer a weekly show on there called Angels Aligning. I work with other amazing content creators on there. We have a soul support group. We have a daily pep talk that I will participate in, and we have, like I said, many other people involved in this. And this is where you can go deeper. So maybe you've been doing this for a while on your own and you're looking for your tribe. Well, go check out SiriusJoy.com for only $3.99 the first month, and you will see loads of content on there to help you deepen your journey. It's a beautiful community of light workers, and we're all here supporting each other. So I'd love to see you there as well. And now let's get deeper into the angel messages. So one of the things that we are facing right now as a challenge, and you are most likely aware of this challenge, is that events are happening really quickly. There are sudden meetings popping up on your calendar. There's a sudden need to give someone a ride somewhere or go help them with something. And we want to make sure we're carefully reviewing what our options are, what are the things that we have committed to, and let's try to find creative solutions to being able to do the things our heart really wants to do and keep those commitments that are really in our highest interest. And maybe, as I said at the beginning of this video, be willing to ask for help for others. The image they're always showing me is maybe you're somebody that's always cleaned your own home. You've just always felt like nobody else did as good of a job as you do. But now maybe you have young grandkids and they're wanting more time with you, and their parents are needing your help, and you don't know how you're going to get it all done. Why not let somebody come clean your house even once a month to just help you stay up with it? And then you're giving them the opportunity to earn some money, and you're freeing up that time to be with your grandkids, which you would cherish. Now, of course, this may not be in your wheelhouse right now, having grandkids you're taking care of, but whatever it is that is for you that your heart really wants to do, maybe it's time to ask for help with something else so you have more time for that. Now, one of the subconscious things that's going on for us, or maybe hidden information that we're not aware of, is there are some new opportunities coming our way, and it's going to require maybe some important documents or contracts. You're going to have to take a really careful look at these things. We want to make sure we're noticing the details with offers that are coming to us, whether this is an offer to purchase our home, or we offer to purchase a home or purchase a vehicle. We want to be making sure all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed with any kind of loan, any kind of job offer, anything that we are agreeing to do. And of course, if you are not working, maybe you're retired or you're a student, this can have to do with travel as well. So really pay attention to all the details, because what the angels want you to know is there are good things coming for you, but we have to co-create. We have to do this together. We have to do this with the guide of the angels and be open and aware. If you notice things going on around you that are chaotic, try to step back, take some deep breaths. We had those messages in the February angel messages. Please go check those out if you haven't. And they do support these messages as well. There's a continuing message through there. That's the way I love the way the angels work. They give you subtle guidance to help you move through the path. And if you missed it, you always have the opportunity to go back and check in with them again. They're not going to stop offering you guidance. And one of the things they talked about in February was to make sure that if you see a bunch of people running to take action on something, that you're not stepping into the energy of the herd mentality out of fear. Now, maybe it is the highest thing in your interest to go where these people are going, but make sure you're checking in with your own intuition first, because that is one of the things we are going to see is a lot of people taking on this herd mentality and going into a place of acting from their root chakra, fight or flight. And we want to make sure we're protecting our interests first. And this doesn't mean something necessarily scary. I don't want your mind going to worst case scenario either, but it could be that maybe everybody at your church has decided to leave the church and go to another church. And maybe you're ready to leave that church too, or maybe and maybe you're ready to leave that church too, but you're not really sure if that church they're all going to is in your highest interest. Take time to pause, ask for guidance. Maybe there's another spiritual community that's in your highest interest there. And there's so much about this upcoming energy that's about your individual spirituality. It's so important that we are making sure we are taking time for our spiritual routine every single day, whatever that is for you. I personally wake up in the morning and I do my affirmations, my prayers. I write in my journal. I do a little meditation. Depending on what's going on for the day, I've been adding a lot of tapping into my morning routine, which is really helpful for me getting grounded. And I always try to make sure I'm moving my body around because I really need that as well. So what is your spiritual routine? Ask yourself that right now. In my book of evidence that I released, my journal, I have templates for you, custom templates called a routine record that helps you track your mood, helps you track your routine, and helps you track another energy. I like to give this example. If you are into astrology, my natal Mars is in Gemini. And we've had Mars in Gemini for a very long time recently. So I've been tracking that and how it's affecting my routine and my mood. So it's a custom way to see how the energies affect you. And if you're brand new to it, I would have you start with the moon. That was how I really got into journaling and tracking energy, is I just started following the energy of the moon. Is it a full moon? Is it a waning moon? Is it waxing moon? And of course, is it a new moon? And then I put into place some rituals and things that help me set intentions and take a positive mindset with that energy there supporting you. So make sure you're doing that. And one of the things they want to let you know that they see you've had to deal with lately, and it's so interesting that they gave me that example of the church and leaving the church, because they're bringing this up right now that, yeah, you have had to really get clear on your own belief system because you've had to move away from a lot of traditional viewpoints or methods. You've had to move away from certain spiritual organizations because they were not in alignment with you. It could even be a political organization, they're saying, for some of you, where you just realized your spiritual path does not align with that. And you've had to seek out some mentors or some like-minded friends to help you with moving on from this. And they want to commend you for that. In fact, that's a lot of the thing that we're doing in our online coffee, is we are finding our tribe with that. It's the same thing we're doing at Serious Joy. When you are really deepening your spiritual practice, it can be easy to begin feeling alone when really that's just an illusion. There are so many like you out there on this path with you, so you don't need to feel alone. And as we discussed in the February online coffee, we also don't need to burn down our relationships that we already have in our life. That's one of the things that I don't hear enough in the spiritual community, is that you do not have to leave current relationships to be able to develop your practice. Now, if it's not in your highest interest to remain in that relationship, that's a different subject. But I do find people thinking that they have to completely sever ties with good relationships just because they differ in their spiritual beliefs. And that is not the guidance here. The guidance here is to be able to have your own spiritual practice and still be with the people you love. Because we did all come here together to experience this together, and there's a reason you have those bonds. Now, remember, when you're hearing this right now, we were asked at the beginning to make sure we are slowing down and not taking on too much. And so they're saying this is a good time to take a rest, maybe take a little vacation or staycation during the month of March. Allow yourself to just slow down a little bit and be able to get a new perspective, because they're wanting us to wait before we're making any big decisions. And that's going to require that pause and that slow down. And they are wanting to encourage you to maybe even add a little extra meditation in this month to help you before you make any big decisions. So maybe you are looking at making a move. This time of year here in the US tends to be the beginning of people making a lot of moves for jobs or for school. They begin looking at where they're going to move soon, maybe this summer, and where they're going to live. And they want you to make sure you're slowing down and really tapping into the energy of these decisions before you're making these decisions. Because what's coming up for you is you are going to have to choose carefully through these options. You're going to find there are certain things coming up, and you're going to have to decide if you're going to put energy into a situation or you're going to just let it go. And this even means choosing your battles wisely. So maybe you find, coworkers at work are having conflict with each other, and you're trying to decide if you want to step in or if you want to just let them handle it, work it out. Maybe it's an issue you're having with a coworker and you just decide to just let them have their way because it's not worth it. You've got something else you want to do. And I know a lot of you are not here for career stuff. So always when you hear certain terms like standing your ground, choosing your battles, whatever comes to mind for you first is what the angels are sending you guidance about. Now, they always like us to remember to tap into our personal power, and they want you to know that your personal power is going to come from you standing in your beliefs and being recognized for doing that. So take a look around to see where this month you get recognized for doing that, for standing up for how you feel, for being a leader with your own spiritual beliefs. Now, this could mean being a leader with yourself. So maybe giving yourself credit for the fact that you didn't follow the herd over to this new church that didn't really align with your belief system anymore. Or it could just be meaning that you are willing to say to everybody, I respect your decision. Please respect mine. I'm going to stay at this church, or I'm going to go to a different place. So I don't know why that guidance was coming up about the church. So whoever it is that needed to hear that, I hope that's helpful there. But remember, this is what's meant for you, what's going on for you right now, because this could mean leaving an area that you've always lived in. This could mean leaving a job. So just check in with what that is for you. And the other thing they want you to notice is that you have a lot more connection with your spiritual team than you realize, and they want you to check in with them more often. They are saying Archangel Metatron is offering to work with you a lot during this month. And, of course, we can always ask the angels for help. You don't have to wait for that. But I do work with Archangel Metatron often, and I find that this is a quick, fast energy. So given the fact that March is going to bring so much of this fast, quick moving energy, we want to make sure we're connecting with the right guidance. Check in with your spiritual team. They're here around you all the time, sending you signs. So please be very open and aware to your intuition and this guidance you are getting, because they're wanting to send you messages that will guide you to make things easier, to guide you to ask for help when you need it, or to guide you to head in a different direction if it's better for you. Because like they said, they were asking us to pause and take a new perspective with things. One of the things that I love about taking vacation is when you go and you leave and you go stay somewhere that you're not used to, it does give you a new perspective. Just the way the streets are laid out, the way the people behave, the way they interact with you, it does kind of already open you up to that new perspective. And it helps you really highlight the things that are important to you, especially if you are like me, where you get homesick. I get homesick pretty quickly. I love traveling, but I do love being at home too. So when I find that I go somewhere and I'm really longing for something from home, that helps me reassess my priorities. And maybe the next time I will take a different trip that will help me incorporate that energy from home a little better. Now, they do want you to know that if you will stay positive with your outlook and open aware, you are going to find success. You really are headed in the right direction. And this is going to take being professional, responsible, and practical with your actions, and also being generous. So again, with that, picking your battles wisely, or maybe offering to let someone clean your home so you have time to do something else. And now you're giving the energy of financial support to this person so that you get the energy of time to go do something else. Be generous with those things, activating that giving and receiving cycle, but doing it in a professional and responsible way is going to be important, because you're setting this example of being a leader. Now, also, they want you to know that if you are really willing to take these actions in this positive way, you are actually giving birth to your dreams in this month of March. And it is interesting that it aligns with the spring equinox here in the northern hemisphere, in the northern hemisphere, because it is about birth, and you see all the new life coming around. We're seeing new flowers, little baby bunnies, all the different things that are starting to have new life. Well, we want to nurture ourselves and nurture others through this beginning, because just like with the newborn baby, they are so fragile and gentle and they need nurturing and support. So we are doing that with our dreams. We are doing that with our goals and our intentions. And of course, you have to do that with yourself by showing yourself love. In fact, I wanted to mention too that if you're on a journey for self-love, that's another wonderful thing we do at Serious Joy is the community created by Christopher Witecki, an amazing astrologer and spiritual teacher, one of my teachers that I have learned so much from. It's all about learning how to love yourself and love yourself some more. That is what he teaches, and his service is designed around teaching you about self-love and deepening your spiritual practice, along with all the fun things you get to incorporate with your own birth chart and astrology. So I hope that's helpful too. Now, I do want to mention one more time, I do have some offerings on my website that are digital offerings that will help you deepen your practice, such as an automatic writing visualization and some other things on there. So feel free to check those out or let me know if you have any questions. And before we wrap up the guidance from the angels, they had some actions for us to take in the month of March. So right now, what they want us to plan to do during this month is to go ahead and plan to celebrate the small successes and break free from things that are making us unhappy. Now, again, that guidance earlier about not necessarily, you're not severing ties with everything in your life. You're doing it patiently, you're pausing, you're getting new perspectives, but celebrate where you have stood in your beliefs. Celebrate recognition from others for doing that. Coming up very soon, you are going to be asked to be of service to others and to be generous. We did get that guidance at the end, so just be prepared for that you may be called upon because maybe you went through something hard in the past and you learned a lot from it. And so someone reaches out to you and says, hey, could you guide me through this? I'm going through what you went through a few years ago. Maybe it was with a health concern or a breakup of a relationship or a change of job, and they're needing your support now. So be open and aware to that because you're going to be able to use your gifts with that, and that's going to open up new pathways as well. And finally, by the end of the month, they want us to make sure that we are focusing on finding long-term solutions to these things that are holding us back, slowing us down, making us feel stressed, especially if it's regarding financial security and inviting in abundance. So go ahead and take some time this month, especially if you have time to take a break, vacation, or pause and get a new perspective, to make long-term plans for how you're going to bring your spiritual practice in to invite more abundance on a regular basis so that you can continue to move forward. Now, the angels often will give me a key word for the month, and this time they gave me a key phrase. So what they are asking us to do is to make sure that where you can teach others about healing and spirituality, this is where you're going to bring healing into. So doesn't that align perfectly? The key phrase is healing through spiritual teachings. So this may mean it's time for you to look for a new spiritual teacher, but also that you may be the one offering education about a spiritual teaching you've mastered to someone else, and that's going to bring healing to both of you. Thank you so much for being here. I want to ask you a question and a favor. Would you let me know in the comments what is the most beneficial to you in the videos I offer? If you're a Serious Joy subscriber, I'd love to hear what you love most about Serious Joy as well, and the most beneficial things, because I'm looking for ways to streamline what I offer you so it's the most beneficial to you. Same with the Book of Evidence. If you're one of the lovely people who have already purchased their own copy of my journal, I'd love to hear what your favorite things are about that. And anything else that I offer that is beneficial to you, or is there something else you would like to see? Because I'm thinking about changing up doing these monthly messages and doing them differently and structuring them differently. And I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet. In fact, I am going to take the guidance from the angels for March and pause and get a new perspective on how I'm handling my workflow. And I want to make sure it's still benefiting you. So let me know, what is your favorite thing? What's the most beneficial to you? Let me know if you have any questions. And one more reminder about the online coffee that's coming up, second Wednesday of the month. So I believe that's March 8th for this month, but just check your calendar. I'll have newsletters coming out. If you're signed up for my newsletter at devonduerr.com, you'll get that. But I want to let you know that if you can't attend the online coffee live, I do post the video online, and you can put your question in the comments before the coffee, and I'll try to get to it at the end of the online coffee. So that way you have a chance to ask me a question even if you can't be there live. And I never do the video version of the conversation, so you don't have to worry if you don't want to be on camera or you don't want to be seen, on YouTube. I keep the angel messages I offer with video, and then I turn it to just audio for the discussion. So feel free and safe to do that. If you've never attended, you can always just join with your mic and video off and just listen. You are so welcome. You are so welcome here at my channel. If this video is helpful, I would be so grateful if you would share this video with others and share my channel and and of course subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I am so grateful for all of you. Thank you for being here. And remember, take time every day to connect with the angels.